Hi guys, so today we're going to be learning to understand factors. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that we need to be looking at is what does factors mean? What does that word mean? Now, what you'll often find is you'll be given a number, what we call a target number, and you'll be asked to figure out what the factors of that number are. So there are two different ways to explain what a factor is. They're both connected to the inverse strategies that we have learned in class many times. One way to describe it is that a factor is a number which, when multiplied with another number, results in the target number. Another way to describe it is a number that can be divided into the target number without leaving any remainders. Okay, now I have a great way to help you remember what the factors of a number are. We call it factor falls. Okay, the reason I call it factor falls is because it helps us to remember that all the numbers that are factors of that target number, so the number that I'm going to give you to ask you to find out what the factors of it is, will always be smaller. Okay, so your factors will always be smaller than your target number, so they fall. Okay, it just helps me to remember. So let's look at this number. So what are the factors of 20? Now, a great way to do this is to use a factor smile. What I do is I always start with I think of my times tables, okay, and I think of all the multiples that would fit in to give me 20. Okay, so we have 1 times 20, we have 2 times 10, and we have 4 times 5, because they're all multiples of 20. Okay, so they're all factors, so if I look, every single one of those numbers would then be a factor of 20. Okay, that, if I was to look at the opposite way of dividing it, for example, if I divided 20 by 1, it would give me 20. If I divided 20 by 10, it would give me 2. If I divided 20 by 2, it would give me 10. If I divided 20 by 4, it would give me 5. If I divided 20 by 5, it would give me 4. So all of these numbers are all connected with the number 20, no matter which inverse strategy we look at. What I would then do next is I would draw a little smile around them. Okay? And this would then help me to organise my numbers when I'm later laying out all the factors. So here we go. We have the first factor, so factor 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. So this is where our knowledge of our times tables really comes in, okay, to understand factors. Let's try. Here we go again. Always remember, 1 is always a factor. It will always be a factor. So let's try. What are the factors of 24? Okay, so have a think. On your whiteboard, what I'd like you to do just now is draw a big smile, okay? Remember, you're starting with the 1 as a factor, okay? And write out how many factors this number has. So what multiples can you put together to give you the number 24? So I'll give you the first one. You will have 1 times 24. Now think, can you multiply 2 by anything to give you 24? Okay, so now that you've written them down, let's have a look at what I have. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, I have 1 times 24, 2 times 12, 3 times 8, and 4 times 6. Now, there was no point in going on to 5 times anything because nothing in the 5 times table will give me 24. And what you would find is then if I went to the 6 times table, I would just be repeating the same as up here. I would be doing 6 times 4. So there's no point in repeating that. So I know that's when I need to stop. Okay? Because after that, there will be no other multiples in there. Okay? So then I draw my circle, or my smile, sorry. Okay, so as you can see, now I can list out all my factors. So 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 6, 6, 8, 8, 12, 12, 24, 24. Okay, so just as another example, I'm going to write one down for you. Okay, so we have our target number is 32, and we're trying to work out all the factors of the target number 32. So I'm going to start with my first factor that I know is number 1. I'm going to think of any number that can be multiplied by 1 to give me 32. So that's right, answer is 32. Then I'm going to think about the 2 times table. Is there anything in the 2 times table that can be multiplied to give me 32? And the answer would be 16, because 16 times 2 is 32. Now the next one I would think about is the 3 times table. Now I know that 3 times 10 is 30. So 3 times 11 would be 33. So that is going past my target number. So I cannot use anything in the 3 times table, okay, would not match. Similar to when we do finding Mully, you're finding Mully without going past the highest multiple of a number, okay, well, this is the same. We don't want our factors cannot be anything that goes past 32. It must give us 32. So the 3 times table cannot be used. Next one would be the 4 times table, and I know that 4 times 8 gives me 32. Then I think about the 5 times table. Okay, is there anything? Well, no, because I know the 5 times table is filled with numbers that are either end in a 0 or end in a 5. So it cannot be the 5 times table. I think about the 6 times table. Is there anything in the 6 times table that would give me 32? Nope, nothing in the 6 times table, that's right. Now I would move on to the 7 times table. Is there anything in the 7 times table? Nope, that's right, there's nothing in the 7 times table. You could also use your multiplication grid here to help you if you weren't sure. Okay, so now I've went past the 5th, the 6th, the 7th times table. I now find myself going back to a factor that is already there. So the 8 times table. There is no point in writing the 8 times table down because I would only be repeating what I already have here, but written in the opposite way. So I would be writing 8 times 4. There's no point in that. So I know now I can stop, because all that would happen is as I continue down the multiplication tables, I would end up, my next one would be 16, and it would be 16 times 2. And then after that, it would be 32. It would be 32 times 1. So there's no point in repeating all of that. So now I'm going to make my big smile, okay? And I know that all of these are factors because, again, we go back to the factors false. All the numbers are the same or smaller than the number 32. So now I'm going to lay out all my factors. So the factors for 32 are 1, 2, 4. See how I'm following that line as I'm writing them all down? 8, 16, and 32. And there you go, boys and girls. Those are the factors of 32.